Alright, so it's working. See the flame down in there? So we'll see how long it takes to heat the water up.
What we're going to do is cut an opening, find the water lines. One of them is the old hot line that used to go to a 40-gallon standard natural gas water heater. We're not doing that anymore. It was pretty wasteful in energy and it didn't work well. So what we're going to do is do the RV water heater instead, only heat up water we're going to currently use. So we're going to find the water lines. We need to pull an electrical line from the battery bank over so we can power the RV water heater electronics. I have a 24 to 12 volt, 60 watt step down converter that will go in there, and we will be able to power that electrically so it will work correctly. And then on the other side of this wall, is the bathroom. So you have a sink, toilet, and a clawfoot bathtub. I can show you that real quick. All right, so here's clawfoot bathtub. We got some spare water just in case. Toilet, the lid broke. Rats jumped on it, broke it or something. But sink, mirror. So the idea is on the other side of that wall there is the kitchen. So all the hot water lines will be really short and ran within the walls and should be able to provide us what we need. All right, so here is a 6-gallon, I believe this is a Suburban RV water heater. So the way this thing works, this is the outer cover. So there we go. So the way this works, I have a propane valve here. This unit we bought has the electric heating element down in here. So what we did is we removed the 120 volt heating element and we put in a 24 volt 600 watt heating element. So the idea is during the day we can use solar panel power to make hot water. So, and then at night we can use the propane to make hot water. So what we're going to do, if we back up here for a minute, here's the kitchen sink area. As you can tell, cabinets and whatnot. So underneath, in this cavity right here where I marked on the wall, there's water lines running through the wall, through here from the solar shed, which is on the right side of the cabin. So what we're going to do is cut an opening, find the... Alright, so we cut an access hole. It's roughly the size of the water heater in the wall. You can see the old piece there. First we cut out a small square just to get an idea where the lines were, and they're right there, which is cool. So the vertical lines loop up over through the roof to go over to the wash machine. So those lines pop out there, which if I remember correctly, they run up through the roof, across, over, and down that wall. So we might have to shimmy some of those around because I forgot about the water heater, or not the water heater. I forgot about the wash machine needs hot water also. So the black line should be the hot water. I'll have to double check in the solar room and make sure that's what I'm seeing. What a pain in the butt. Okay, so had to reroute the cold lines and change up the way the hot was going to work to make this work. So that required punching a bunch of holes in the drywall to push and pull stuff through. Plus I was able to run the DC power line through the old hot line holes in the wall, the drilled holes in the 2x6s. So I'll show you that real quick. Alright, so over here, this is on the back wall. Refrigerator, kitchen, back wall. Solar sheds are on the other side of this part of the house. So here have the DC lines ran through, the old holes that the hot water used to run through. So here's the cold. And now, back over here by the kitchen. So remember, hot and cold lines used to run right through the middle of this hole, which is where the hot water heater is going to go. So this is all going to get cleared out, and there's going to be a hole on the outside of the house because this front of the water heater has to stick to the outside of the house because we're burning the propane, and it vents out through there. So we can't have that in the house. So that's going to get vented outside. Cold water had to get rerouted up and over the cavity here where the water heater is going to go through.
So next I'm going to mark out where the hole needs to go on the outside and clear all the insulation out of the way. Have the cold water supply to the water heater, and then that little black 90 down there is the hot water out of the water heater. It goes into the rest of the house. So I had to do some moving around and some tees and whatnot to make all this happen. So we'll see how we get here in a little bit. All right, we got the cut. Looks pretty square from the outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and shove this in there and see how well it lines up, and then show you guys the outside and what the beauty ring, or the little vent panel, is supposed to look like, how that's supposed to go together. Alrighty, so here you have it. It's not all the way in. I just kind of like mocked it all up, but the idea is you can pop the panel open and get to the water heater there. So I just got to run the propane line in from the inside, figure out what I'm going to do there. Ultimately, I think what will happen, spin this around or put a different fitting on it and bring it out exterior somehow. Put the propane bottle out here on a stand and then maybe feed the other accessories that are inside the house. Alrighty, so there you can see it behind me. I got the panel on there. That kind of helps hold it in place. I also ran 4 screws down. I ran 2 screws down into the floor plate, I guess is what it's called, and then 2 horizontally into the 2x4 that's next to it. Because it isn't centered between the 2 2x4 or 2x6s really. I favored it to one side, which actually worked out, because on the inside where the propane line comes through, which you can kind of sort of see. Let's see if I can do this right. The propane line here had to go inside, so I was able to knock the drywall, or put a square in the drywall to feed the propane line through. So what will happen is I'll get a bottle and we'll put some propane to it, put some power to it, see if it clicks away and all that. So right now I'm just going to finish up the plumbing and then see if I can get water going through it, see if I can get water out of the hot side of the taps. It won't be hot obviously, but water will be flowing through it, so that'll tell me that everything's working correctly, and I'll check for leaks and all that stuff, and then figure out how I'm going to patch all these drywall holes that I made.
It's not going to take long for the fridge to cool down.
Alright, so we got a propane tank, got our power. Maybe? Alright, so it's working. See the flame down in there? So we'll see how long it takes to heat the water up, and then we'll put the cover back on. There we go. Yeah. Feel the heat coming out. Sweet. See if we get some more water.